Hey guys, this is Courtney from Will's Bloom, and today I am doing a pick a card reading about what patterns you are ending. And I felt really called to do this because we are going through eclipse season right now, and many of us are ending patterns, especially in relationships, self-worth, money, these areas of our lives. And I've seen a lot of these things come up with my clients because I am an astrologer primarily, but I use tarot in my practice, and I thought that this would be a really nice way for me to connect with you guys who cannot get a reading from me and who want some additional guidance. So we have 3 piles here today. We have pile 1 with this Cancer dice on it. Oops. We have pile 2 with this North Node. And then we have pile 3 with the 4th house. So I don't know how my lighting is. Hopefully you guys can see okay, but regardless, the messages are here for you. I have not looked at the cards yet, so I'm super excited to dive into this. So let's go ahead and get started with pile 1. The time codes will be in the description box down below. If you don't know how this works, you choose a pile based off of your intuition, which you can trust your intuition. I believe in you guys. I know everyone here is extremely intuitive. And there will be messages in this pile for you. Not everything will likely pertain to you because this is a collective reading. So just make sure that you allow whatever resonates to sink in with you, maybe journal about it, sit with it for eclipse season, and let the rest just slide off your back. And let's go ahead and get started. All right, so starting off with pile number 1, you guys chose the card or the dice with Cancer on it. So this looks like it'll be something maybe related to your emotions, to your family, to your femininity. So let's go ahead and see what that might mean. So let's see, we have the 2 of Pentacles for you guys. We have the 3 of Pentacles, interesting. We have the Chariot, and then we have the Knight of Swords. Okay. So before I get into this, I want to open up the rest of the cards. We have productivity as well. And this looks like it's, my camera is not fully balanced. Let's see. Does that look even? You guys, I never record these pick a card readings, so it's really hard to get this gear set up in a way that makes sense. Okay, hopefully that's okay. Let's move this. All right, so you guys also got a lot of astrology cards. So you got the Virgo card, and I guess I just won't display all of them. You got the Jupiter card, the 7th house, and 9th house. Okay, so we're gonna come back to the other cards since these are taking up a big portion of the screen. So let's go ahead and talk about these initial cards here. So it's interesting that we got Cancer because if I am correct, Cancer and the Chariot are the same type of energy. So there's something here around your emotional willpower that is coming into play with this eclipse. And I'm seeing some type of progression here for you with the 2 of Pentacles to the 3 of Pentacles. There's something that you are building on. So there may be some kind of important decision that you need to make, or a way that you need to focus your energy or priorities, or even delegate in a way to make sure that you are a little bit more, again, streamlined and focused. And it's interesting because the Knight of Swords, which I feel like is the Chariot is describing the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords has a somewhat impulsive, erratic energy. It moves very quickly towards its goals, but it also doesn't necessarily it doesn't necessarily have the momentum and the dedication to always see things through to completion. And so there might be something in your life where you guys are needing to either bring more hands on deck or bring things into a greater focus, prioritize things in a way, and have more of a control over your willpower, your determination to succeed, and over your mindset. So channeling this Knight of Swords energy, instead of using every creative idea that you have and acting on it, how can we channel that essence, that energy of having an imagination, having lots of ideas, lots of goals and things that come to you? How can we channel that into becoming more productive? So this productivity card, I feel like, is really saying that a lot of this is about work. And that is something I'm seeing here, although I also see relationships. But because we have the Three of Pentacles, I'm really getting the idea that this is something related to work relationships, working together on something. So this could indicate a partnership, but there's something here where you're needing to come together with another person and maybe lighten your load, or again, kind of have some teamwork or delegation in mind so that you can actually achieve your goals. And I really feel like this is going to speed things up very quickly. The Chariot and the Knight of Swords are really, really quick energies. So I feel like if you guys were in a period of stagnation, part of the pattern that you're ending is getting out of the stagnation. And part of that is because you are now learning how to properly utilize your energy and other people in your life to achieve your goals. So you're not as scattered, you're not as emotionally depleted, you are not as tired or taking on too much. Cancer energy can have a lot to do with needing to have, strong self-care, emotional management, and regulation. There's a really heavy emphasis on not just productivity, but focusing on what goes into yourself, your body, your emotional nature in order to produce these kinds of results. So I really feel like you guys are coming into a lot more maybe work-life balance, and doing things that I feel like are going to progress your life forward a lot faster than they were before. And again, I think this might come from some of you from some kind of focus. So if you were having, again, past patterns where you were scattered, or you were doing everything on your own and you were taking care of everything for everybody else, I really see that starting to shift during this Libra cycle. Libra is all about balance. And so I think you guys are coming into a greater sense of balance in your life. I think one of the ways that you're doing that is through this Virgo energy, which has a lot to do with being detailed, which has a lot to do with being observant of systems and how things are efficient or function well together. So I really feel like you guys are understanding how to create some kind of flow or system within your life that is a little bit more under control. So this means that you're not letting things kind of go by unnoticed. Like you're scheduling things, you have a list for things, you have a way of managing things. And I really feel like, again, all the details are kept up with. Instead of overwhelming you, you have a system and a way of doing it that you can rely on consistently to help you achieve your goals. So if things were, again, quite scattered or kind of getting left behind, or if there was inefficiencies or lack of productivity, if you were wasting maybe too much energy thinking about things, or you had really a lot of priorities and maybe some of those things don't actually make sense for your future, I really see you guys cutting things down, eliminating things, discerning things. Virgo is a really good project manager because it's very aware of time and resources, money, energy, and how we need to optimize all of those things to get our desired results. And we can't have these large inefficiencies or even small inefficiencies that build up over time to lead to kind of massive issues, to be honest, and breaking down of the system, health issues, or whatever that could be, or serious delays in our goals because of these inefficiencies that happen over time. So I really see you guys having more discernment. And I think that's part of how you can hone this Knight of Swords energy, is having the self-control over your mindset to use this discernment instead of kind of anxiously or sporadically moving through life or tackling everything that you see or trying to take on too much. I really feel like you guys are honing and you guys are focusing, and you are, again, kind of knowing what is the priority, what is the value and the order of things in your life. So the second card that I have is Jupiter. So I really feel like you guys are also becoming a lot more aware of your higher meaning. So like, what is the actual purpose of what you're trying to work towards? And this is part of what helps hone and focus us. If you have been somewhat scattered, it's probably because there has been a lack of a mission or this thread that is running through everything that you're doing that you can use to help discern, is this getting me towards that mission or further away from it, or a distraction in some capacity? synchronicity. Maybe it's somewhat aligned but tangential, and you'll start to realize like what feels like a big yes. And I think with this Jupiter card, you might find that you have lots of opportunities coming towards you. So if there was stagnation in the past, I really don't see that anymore. I feel like you guys are going to be receiving lots of blessings, lots of open doors, and that is going to indicate even a greater need for discernment about which doors to actually walk through, because you can't have this productivity if you are not actually aligned with exactly where you're trying to go. If you go through all of the doors, again, you're going to get nowhere fast. So you're coming up on some good fortune and you're growing and expanding in your life, but you really need to understand when to be excited and act on those opportunities, and when it's maybe an 85% match, but not quite 100. We see the 7th house card as well, which has a lot to do with partnerships, cooperation, and balance. So some of this energy could come up in your personal relationships, or it could just involve working together with other people, or finding that there's somebody that can help promote your work or your life in some kind of way that's going to bring about greater balance. So maybe they have some opposing skill sets to yours that really help bring certain things to the equation that you lack. Or let's say that just having somebody else that relies on you, for example, that you're working with, can help you keep on track and not get distracted, for example. There's just a lot of energy here around somebody else coming in to balance you out, to keep you focused, and maybe to help pick up some of the things that you might not pick up. And this could be, again, talking about any kind of endeavor in life, but ultimately it could affect personal relationships or draw relationships into your career or whatever area of life I'm talking about for you. We also have this 9th house, and this really comes from a way of where we are viewing things from a higher perspective. It has the same energy as Jupiter, and they really are able to help us see things from a broader vision. So what do I want in my future? What is the purpose and the meaning of this? And also having us go on a little bit of an adventure. And I really see that with the Chariot and the Knight of Swords. I really see the strong energy of adventure and pushing ourselves. So the way that we are able to excel the most is because not only are we productive, not only are we focused, but we know where we're going and what challenges we want to take on next. So we're not trying to take on every challenge at once, but we have this kind of longer term mission or longer term goal of where we're trying to go. And because of that, we're able to go all out in exactly where we're at now, with the sights set on being even bigger in the future. And this could be, again, anything. Like if you have a relationship, this could be progressing the relationship. If this is a business, this could be you knowing what you want to do 3 years from now and how your current actions are going to get you there. But there's something where you are driven by, again, this higher mission and purpose, and also maybe some kind of like moral or philosophical ideals that really underlie the core of what you're valuing. So that's, again, going to help you measure against those morals to see, should I pursue this or should I not? Like, what is my highest value here? And you're able to see that with more clarity. And this could have to do with spending money as well. So yeah, you'll be able to kind of pick what area of life it relates to for yourself. I also pulled the Nightingale card. So this card has a lot to do with opening our throat chakra. So if there's been something blocked in terms of your personal expression, I really feel like that is going to unblock itself. That could mean having an important conversation with somebody. That could mean writing a book. That could mean starting a social media presence. But there's something here where I feel like you guys have a message, and that really goes back to the Jupiter energy, even the 9th house energy, where there's a truth, a higher meaning, a message that you are here to get across to the world or to somebody in your life, or even in small ways in your family or relationships. There's something here that you need to express, that you need to get across, that you're meant to, show the world. And because of that, this card is coming out and saying that focusing on what that is going to help you lean even more towards that personal expression there. So I really feel like you guys are coming into, you're breaking patterns around throat chakra blockages, holding things in, not talking about things, not using your voice for really creative or creative pursuits or emotional releases with this Cancer. There might be things that you just have blocked, and I really feel like you're coming out of that energy. We also have the card Patience. and inner peace and sensuality. So I really feel like this is important because there was such a scattered energy when we started off the reading. There was a pattern here around trying to do everything, and maybe there was a rush or an urgency where we felt like if we don't do it now, the opportunity is going to be gone, or we're coming at this from like a scarcity or lack mindset, a little bit of fear. This patience card and this inner peace card, I feel like is bringing you to a much more tranquil space where you are with this Cancer, much more emotionally regulated. So you are enjoying more of the journey, and I definitely feel that with the Chariot card and the Knight of Swords. It's like you're very excited and stimulated by where you are, and you're going to come into a place of breaking the pattern of trying to rush things further along. And I think that this Nightingale will help you hone in on what your truth is, so that you know, like, if something is actually aligned at that particular moment, and if you need to make a change, or if you can just be patient and allow things to ride out a little bit more naturally, you know, not trying to force things, not trying to push things, but with this Chariot card, having some semblance of willpower to move things forward. Yes, you're going to take action, but you're not going to resist what is. Like, if the timeline just isn't what you planned on, or if things aren't happening again as fast as you hoped, or, you know, you're having this longer term vision. I feel like you're able to see a greater span of time, and that's helping you come into a place of inner peace. So it seems like you're a lot more centered in yourself. And I think part of that is because maybe, again, you're focusing more and you're coming back to your truth, your why, your mission. And I think that's helping you a lot. With the sensuality card, I feel like you guys are maybe embodying more feminine kind of Venusian energy, and this could have to deal a lot with self-care. So maybe having more time where you are just spending time alone, or you are taking a bath, or you're getting a facial, like doing things that make you feel like you are receiving instead of just always producing or always being stuck in the head, coming into the body, into the senses, and becoming more present. I think that is why you're getting this patience and inner peace, because you're enjoying your sensory day-to-day life a lot more. And that could look like cooking, that could look like going for a walk outside, hanging out with friends, but it just seems like very gentle, very present, very simple. You're learning how to master the art of receiving the simple pleasures of life. And that is what's going to allow you to hone this inner peace and patience, kind of wisdom within yourself, so that you are not scattered, so that you can be focused, that you can have this Taurus function of moving step by step, slowly and surely. But actually, I see you moving a lot faster because of Chariot and Knight of Swords cards. So it's not that you're moving slowly. It may feel slow at times if there's impatience, but I feel like you're mastering that, and it's actually going to move way, way faster the more that that's mastered, and the more that you're enjoying yourself in the present moment. So that is what I'm seeing for you. This is a general pattern I feel like is ending, is that you're coming out of this erratic, urgent type of energy that could have been scattered or impatient, and you're coming more into your body, your senses, you're receiving more, you're opening up more, you're discerning about what opportunities you're allowing yourself to delegate, and you're remaining focused and using your voice to speak your authentic truth. So I hope these messages resonate. If so, please let me know down below by giving me a comment or a thumbs up, or subscribing and sharing with your friends. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you. Bye. All right, so pile number 2, you guys chose the North Node. So there is something quite fated about this experience with this Libra eclipse for you guys. And even if not, you're watching it, if this is, you know, timeless and you're watching another period of time, there's something quite fated about this moment in time where you are coming into more of your personal growth as a soul. And that could look very different for kind of what your chart is, and we're going to get into what that actually looks like. But there is some kind of pattern where you might actually be breaking out of this from a past life. This might have been something deeply rooted, so I'm excited to see what this could actually have to deal with. So let's go ahead and lay out your cards. We have the 10 of Cups, the 5 of Swords in reverse, the 4 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Pentacles. Okay. And then we also have the affection card. Okay, this is definitely about relationships. So if that does not resonate, that's at least one of the things that I'm saying. Okay, and then We have resurrect, which is Pluto. Go to the heart of do or die. And we have faith in the North Node. Stop! You guys, I have not seen these cards before. I know they can't display, but the top is what matters. So the North Node, you guys, we have this double thing going on with the North Node. You might be having some kind of North Node transit. So if you have the North Node in Aries in your chart, or if you have any planets in Aries, it could be aspecting, or the North Node could be passing over it, or even any of the cardinal signs. So Cancer, Capricorn, Libra, they could be making squares, for example, opposition. So that might resonate for you. We have the Starfish card. And then we have the Golden Egg. So I don't know where to put these. They like don't show. You can kind of see them. Okay, so you guys, let's get started with this 10 of Cups. I feel like you guys are definitely ending some kind of emotional cycle where you're going to be able to come into greater emotional fulfillment. I'm really getting the sense that some of you guys may have felt very guarded or having a very hard time receiving things in the past. With this Starfish card, there can be sometimes a very strong emphasis on Leo energy in the chart or Venus energy, where there can be almost like a vanity or a focus on appearances and how people, how people perceive you essentially on the outside. Like, how do I look? How do I dress? Am I desirable? What are people's opinions of me? Those are things that I think could have really gotten to you emotionally or intellectually up until this point in time. Like that could have been a mental priority for you, how the world looks at you upon the surface level. And I feel like you're coming into the 10 of Cups, which is the ultimate emotional fulfillment card. So you're coming into a state where you are experiencing a lot more depth. You're experiencing like true connection. You are overcoming things that may have kept you on the surface or have kept you worrying about what is on the surface or how people perceive your surface. So it's not to say that you won't care about your looks anymore, but it's more so to say that there's a deepening happening within your relationships or your relationship to yourself that is allowing you to focus on things that are a lot more truly fulfilling and meaningful. And so if you have been driven by the wrong things, I see that pattern really ending. And this is something that is, again, helping you come more into the North Node. Again, the North Node right now is in Aries. So there can be a strong focus on the self, building up your confidence, building up your bravery, and feeling like you are deserving of taking up space and taking initiative on things that you want. And if that has been something that you have felt like maybe just too insecure to do in the past, I see you guys taking more initiative, coming more into your power. And I think a lot of that is because you are facing some of the things that have been hard for you in the past. With the 5 of Swords in reverse next to the 4 of Pentacles and 5 of Pentacles, this has a few different messages. I do think for a lot of you, it's around self-worth and relationships, but I also feel like there is a strong message around money here, and those are all tied together. You know, you can really see somebody's money story and relationship story going hand in hand. So I feel like you guys are going to come into an understanding of past events and where you are ready to let go of resentment, where you are ready to process things that have happened to you that you have held on to emotionally or even physically within the body, where there's some kind of stored trauma or even in the subconscious, but there's something here where I really feel like you guys did not have certain needs met. With this 5 of Pentacles, whenever I see this is a card of lack, of scarcity, of worry, and isolation. So you guys are coming out of a phase where you are already in that state. And so this can be, again, twofold. This could be in relationships where you really felt like you were on your own and like relationships don't give you what you need. And so you felt like, I can't rely on people. I'm going to rely on myself. Like I'm going to, just kind of like, I don't feel like I can have other people support me. So I isolate. I can't have my needs met in relationships. People end up disappointing me. So I'm going to kind of turn within. And I see that a lot with the 4 of Pentacles, which has a lot to do with self-preservation. I see a lot of people protecting themselves behind walls that, because that walls that came from disappointment. And so there's something here where you guys have been hurt in the past and you've built up these walls, you've built up this scarcity or this lack mentality or isolation or guardedness, self-protectiveness, either in relationships or in regards to your own self-worth and your financial life. And you're ready to bring some of that down. So this could also be a message about money with this Five of Swords in reverse, where you're finally ready to kind of tackle some of the anxiety that you've maybe had around money. Maybe there have been some losses in the past or things that really end up as a failure or not producing a lot of results, and you've really had to like scringe and save and monitor your money and not feel abundant. Essentially, there's like a very strong focus on preservation of resources and energy here, where you may have felt like, if I don't do this right now, then I'm not going to have enough. I'm not going to be able to survive. So there's a really strong, like fear-based, survival-based energy coming in here. And with the Five of Swords, it's saying, I'm finally ready to release some of this. If this is talking about self-worth, this could be your relationship with yourself, where you could have been focused on what you lack, what you're not good at. And that could have kept you small with this Four of Pentacles. That could have kept you in a mode of, let's keep my head down, let's focus on the next step in front of me. I don't feel like I can take these chances or take these risks. I'm not sure if I'm good enough. And so this Five of Swords in reverse is such a beautiful card, because it really shows where you're ready to break out of this cage or this box of limitation and suffering and lack. And this is, again, in relationships, self-worth, and money. So very much a Libra issue. And I'm excited that that is coming right now during eclipse season. And instead, you're coming into true fulfillment with this Ten of Cups. This is a card of like soulmate energy, of family, of love and support. This is the happiest card in all of tarot. So there's this energy of this being an overflowing amount of emotional fulfillment. And it really goes to show that you don't need to have all these pentacles and everything. You don't need to have all this money or like the physical thing to come into your life in order for the emotional fulfillment to come into your life. This can come first, and the actual reality, the material reality, can start to change after. So let's say, for example, you've attracted relationships that are disappointing. You don't need to have a new relationship in order to feel this emotional fulfillment to then later attract the perfect person. You don't need to have more money to feel abundant, to feel happy and excited about your life. And then it will eventually attract that. So it's kind of like the order doesn't matter here. And I really see that you guys are achieving the emotional fulfillment, and either before or after, you will also achieve that material goal, whatever that thing is for you. And I really feel like you're just opening up a lot more to receiving with this affection card. There is Taurus on here, so it has a lot to do with, again, all the things I've been talking about around sensuality. So like receiving physical affection, as well as receiving monetary signs of kind of appreciation for your work or what you do, feeling abundant because you deserve that abundance. I'm really getting the energy of like a Saturn square moon or something related to Saturn, where there's just a strong emphasis, or even Venus and Saturn in combination somehow, where there's a strong emphasis on like, I have to kind of like focus on the outsides or the appearance of things, or I have to look a certain way, or I have to work super hard and be deserving for that thing. And I really feel like you're coming much more into your essence and like what makes you worthy as a soul, instead of feeling like you have to prove yourself, or instead of feeling like you haven't done enough work to deserve that money, or, you know, I'm not ready for a relationship because I'm not a good enough person right now. Like, I really feel like you're coming out of any of this energy that can make it hard to open up to receive. It's like the good stuff has kind of been on the outside, and you can only take little sips of this good stuff to let it in. And now I feel like you're opening up your mouth and just gulping down all of the pleasant feelings, all of the feelings of like love and support and affection. And you're not feeling like you have to, again, earn it or work for it or be good enough for it. You can just truly let it in. This golden egg, it says message at the center of the heart, unstruck sound. This is talking about retreating from everyday life. We're not rushing, pushing, or grasping. We find a place of deep and restful ease. We are able to open up to the questions that weigh heaviest on our heart and stay open as well to responses that the universe gives. It becoming intimate with our very own essence and comfortable with vulnerability. Yes, that's something that I'm seeing with this starfish card, and what I was getting with like Moon Saturn is like there seems like there was a lot of self-protective mechanisms and a fear of vulnerability where you were staying on the surface or focusing on the material world or on production and less on your essence and your heart and people attuning to you emotionally, people seeing you for who you really are as a soul. And that is what I feel like you're coming into. You are coming into this tenderness and this gratitude that arises deep within you just from being like loving yourself for who you are, seeing yourself for who you are, and also maybe having that in your relationships or in your money or in your career, having that come to you for just you being you and you loving yourself. So this is like really deep and profound. And I see that with this Pluto card here as well, which does have to deal with kind of going to the depths of hell or the depths of ourselves to find all of us, to see the dark feelings, to see the heaviness, to see the things that we've pushed aside. Pluto and Scorpio energy has a lot to do with intimacy and vulnerability. And I see that you're coming into that with yourself as well as coming into that with others. I really feel like what is allowing you to do that is that you are accepting your shadow self. You are seeing and accepting and owning and allowing all of yourself, not just part of yourself, all of yourself. And sorry, I see a cat outside like stalking my cat, and my cat always gets beat up by this cat. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go scare him away. Merlin, come here. Come here, Merlin. Okay. So, if you guys have any advice in the comments below about what to do with my cat getting beat up every day outside, I'd love to know. So, Pluto has us going through the depths of our soul, like I mentioned, and owning all parts of the self, not being afraid of all parts of ourself. And it's like when we can have that radical self-acceptance of every aspect of our being, we can then translate that into being able to receive, being able to let people in, because we see ourselves and we let ourselves fully into our own being. So then we can allow others to do the same. So we can only meet somebody at the depth in which they've met themselves. Oh my God. I'm like breathing just from running to the door. So I feel like there's something here where you guys are going deeper into yourself, and that means you're going deeper into your relationships or your finances, and you're coming into more empowerment. Like you're liking what you're seeing. And again, this is something very faded with the North Node. This is something that you have been likely needing to do for many lifetimes. Maybe you have been avoiding some pains that have built up from past lifetimes. Maybe there are things in the shadows that have been lurking in your subconscious that have been very traumatic, that are not something that's been totally available to you. And now you're finally coming into looking at those things, to having faith in yourself, to having faith in the world, and being able to grow into that area of your life. And I feel like it's the time, like now or never. The North Node is in Aries. It's our time to be brave, to be courageous, to do the inner work. You might have Aries in the 8th house, or some kind of Pluto placement that's activated through this North Node transit in some kind of way, or these eclipses. But there's some deep, deep inner work happening here where you're coming into a much greater love and acceptance with the self that's been faded for super, super long. So let's finish up with these last few cards. We have Radiance. We have Stillness and Wisdom. So it's interesting because the Stillness card and the Golden Egg card have a similar message of needing to have some kind of time alone. This was talking about the unstruck sound, having like meditation and peacefulness and like rest is where you're going to find this energy of of being more in love with yourself and seeing all of yourself. So the only way, again, to do this like deep inner soul searching, looking at the shadows, accepting the self, is by having a lot of space and time alone. And you can see there's a scorpion on this card, which is again this Pluto energy. And there's a cracked face. It's like you're needing to crack wide open. Let yourself out, have this kind of vulnerability and this grace with yourself. And again, this is something that's only going to be possible in the times of stillness, in the times of quiet, maybe even the times of difficult situations where you're processing things after and you're like, wow, you know, I see what I'm made of now because I'm processing this alone and I'm truly seeing all of me in this moment. So stillness, quiet, meditation, all of those things are going to be super key to this whole cycle. And so I really feel like you guys, again, are coming out of a cycle of kind of rejecting parts of the self or hiding parts of yourself, and you're coming into a lot more ownership of it through this stillness. I also see that you're growing in wisdom and radiance. So I really feel like this starfish card, you're coming, like you're transforming the meaning of the star. The starfish card really has two meanings. One is the surface level, where you are kind of focused on what things look like or how people perceive you or how much money you have or whatever that is. You're focused on the beauty, the external. And I think you're coming into an inner radiance where you're focusing on how you shine bright from within. This card has a sun on it, which has to do with clarity, which has to do with confidence, vitality, warmth, purpose. Also the Father could be related to that. So you guys are coming into like a really deeper, enriching sense of self-worth and confidence that I think will give you clarity about how you want to move forward in life and maybe even some purpose and direction. But it's a beauty that's coming from within, truly. So if you felt like you've had to have makeup or do certain things in your life to appear like you have it all together, this card is saying that you're coming into that from, again, a much deeper emotional place. Just so much depth here with this Pluto card that you're shining from within. And this is also going to help you have more wisdom in your life. 37, that's my favorite number. It's funny. I kind of want to read what this card says. So it says, magic, wisdom keeper, purity, higher consciousness, clarity, intuitive intellect, and enchantment. So definitely what I'm seeing here is this clarity card. Like I really feel like you guys are knowing a little bit more of what you want. I feel like you guys are trusting your intuition more. You're trusting your feelings more. You are coming into more self-understanding. You're using maybe difficult experiences in life to provide wisdom for you to move forward. So you're not getting stuck in them as much in like a protective mechanism. You're transmuting that energy with Pluto here, transmuting those difficult experiences and harnessing that mastery and that self-mastery for wisdom to use in future instances and not getting broken down, not letting your spirit to just retain all of that. Again, transmuting it in a really, really powerful way. And I think a part of this is really feeling like you can trust your intuition and trust spirit to guide you through those difficult times. So one of the ways that you can transmute things is having faith that things do get better, having a higher meaning of like what all of this is about and how this is actually going to improve your life. So I feel like you guys are going to come into that higher meaning and understanding, and you're going to be focused so much more on things that are really deep down below and also light as in high above. So I'm seeing you guys kind of going into the shadows, but also going so much into like the ethereal, where you're having a connection to both the divine wisdom and the deep inner knowing of these experiences and these shadows of life that are very real. So I feel like you guys are having one foot in both, and again, transmuting the energy to make it more useful and practical for you in this lifetime, to make it into wisdom, which is kind of the essence of what people see when they have a foot in both of those worlds. They see somebody with wisdom instead of somebody with a broken spirit. So I truly see you guys having this kind of emotional makeover in a way where you're really becoming somebody who is a lot more emotionally fulfilled. Again, 10 of Cups is the happiest card in the deck. I think you guys might enter into a relationship that feels very fulfilling, or heal a relationship in a way that's fulfilling if it's been on the surface, coming into more money and transforming any self-protective mechanisms, lack mentality, into something that is no longer a part of your life, releasing resentments, releasing past pains, and feeling like you, again, can transform those darknesses into something quite light and radiant and wise. So that is what I'm seeing for you, group number 2. If you enjoyed this, please don't forget to like and comment down below. I love to read your comments. Please subscribe and share with your friends, and have a beautiful day. Bye. All right, group number 3. So you chose the number 4 on this Astro Dice. So this could be related to the 4th house, home and family, emotional nature, financial security, feeling just like you are more authentic to yourself. But we're going to go ahead and dive in and see what this exactly is talking about here. So let's go ahead and start off with just laying out your cards. We have the Moon, which also has to do with emotions and the family. We have the 10 of Swords, the 9 of Wands in reverse, and 7 of Wands in reverse. So this seems deeply psychological. We have so many swords, and then the Moon card, which is, again, quite emotional in nature. So looks like we're definitely having to deal with 4th house topics that are sensitive in nature. We have the Gratitude card. We have the Capricorn, dedication to achieve. We have the Sagittarius, your highest ideals. And we have the Gazelle. So, okay, we're going to be talking about, let's see, can I fit all these? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with these. I have 2 more cards after this. So this is interesting because this pile definitely has some heavy energy that you are releasing. The 4th house has to do with our ancestry. So I really feel like this is something related to the past, and even all the way back into multiple generations in the past. There's something here that's like deeply rooted in your family line that I feel like you guys have had as a part of your subconscious that has been driving you in certain ways in your life. And the Moon card has a lot to do with that. It has to do with fears, things that we have suppressed, things that we can't see, that we've pushed down. And I feel like there is something in regards to your family that has rooted that fear in you. It could be something that happened in your early childhood, but it could also be, again, just something that's like within the family lineage rather than a very specific moment in your life. So take it as you will. It could be both, but there's something here that has created some level of anxiety and fear, especially with the 9 of Swords and the 7 of Swords. The 9 of Swords and 7 of Swords are in reverse, which is an indication of these energies becoming left behind, especially with the 10 of Swords prior to them. So the 9 of Swords upright typically talks about unfounded fears, things that come up in our nightmares, things that haunt us as a kid. When you look up and you see that thing under your bed or in your closet, and you're like, that's a monster, I'm gonna get killed or eaten or whatever. There's this unfounded fear there that you guys have been haunted by. And this could have been even from a past life or something that happened very early on before you have like conscious memory of it, or again, something that's been happening in your family for generations that drives you unconsciously because of this fear. And with the 7 of Swords in reverse, this is something to do with betrayal. The 7 of Swords is a very sneaky card. It's something around, something where we don't have full trust in someone or something in our life because we feel like we are, like somebody is sneaking around, somebody doing something that is just going to hurt us. There's a lying, there's a deception, there's a trickery, there's a hiding. And this could be on many different planes. So let's say, for example, you've had a deep fear of betrayal within relationships. That could be talking about this. Or let's say there's been actually self-deception and self-lies within your family or within yourself in your own history. That could also be exposing that. So there's something here where there has been a lack of trust, either a lack of trust in the self or in others, a fear of betrayal, and it comes from covering things up. there's something in the past where something was covered up, or where something wasn't admitted, where something wasn't seen or wasn't visible. Especially with this moon card, something again in the subconscious or hidden that has really gotten to your psyche, that has really made you fearful with this gazelle card. This gazelle is a prey card. It is very aware, out there in the flocks trying to blend in, that at any moment something could run for it and try to kill it. And so it tries to kind of blend in. It tries to be not noticed. It tries to be one with the pack so that it doesn't stand out and doesn't get hurt. And there's really this energy here where I feel like you guys have really held yourself back in some way. And again, I think it's really unconscious with this moon card and the Seven of Swords in reverse. I think there's something really unconscious that has made you dim your light, made you not take certain risks, made you not put yourself out there emotionally, not try to date certain people or try to go after certain goals, like something where you have tried to keep yourself small and unnoticeable or avoid certain situations where you could get hurt because of the Seven of Swords in reverse, because of that fear of betrayal, that fear of being like something coming out of the closet and getting you that you didn't see before. So it's like this high alert energy. This feels like a trauma, to be honest. Could be complex trauma, could be just, normal, like, one event happening that's traumatic. But there's some very heavy energy here that I feel like has largely been ignored. Again, I feel like this is not, maybe you're aware of it, but I feel like the full extent is such a deep root within the psyche. It's giving me like the imagery of a tooth and how like the root of the tooth goes so much further than what you see on the surface. And in order to pull it out, it's actually like quite painful. It's quite uncomfortable. And anyway, so it goes quite deep, and that's what I'm seeing here. There's like a fear and high anxiety, high alertness that runs very, very deep, and that's why it comes through in your nightmares or in your subconscious, or when you're in these moments between sleep and wake. There's things that can infiltrate your mind, or this uneasiness that can happen to you that, again, could all be very unconscious, but does drive you to have certain decisions that may limit you in life because of that uneasiness and that fear. And with this fourth house being here, I'm really feeling that a lot of this is becoming emotionally healed and released. The Ten of Swords is about ending something for good. This is a card that I love so much because ultimately, even though it can be difficult, it actually means that we're completely stopping something and never looking back. It's related to when we end a lifetime and we move on as a soul. We can't turn back to that lifetime. Normally there's like, I think if I'm not mistaken, there's like a body lifting out of or a spirit lifting out of a corpse in this card, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. You guys can tell me in the comments below. But that really indicates that there's this transition to another life where we truly cannot go back into that physical body and physical reality that has ended on a physical level. So there's something very strong changing here. And I think I'm saying the word physical so much because I think that this is emotional in nature, deeply subconscious and psychological. But I think it's going to have very strong physical ramifications for you. This could look like miraculous healing in the body. This could look like having a lot more energy and vitality. This could look like achieving certain goals because now you're putting yourself out there more. This could look like having totally different relationships because you are now seeing and connecting people on a deeper emotional level. So there's something physical in your life changing, as well as, of course, the root, which is this emotional, psychological, spiritual nature of this disease. Really, I see it as a disease. Or trauma that has left a strong imprint. And I feel like one of the most beautiful things about this period of time is that you are coming from this gazelle energy, being hyper alert, aware, ready to kind of get hurt by someone or something that has been lingering in your fears. And I see it moving into an energy of gratitude. It's almost like an acceptance where you realize that there are things in life that can hurt you, but you are now in such a place where you are feeling healed and strong and grateful for the things that are in your life, that you're no longer worried so much or focused so much on what can get taken away or the bad things or the nightmares, essentially. Again, the level of like focus on this is going to vary a lot, because I think for many of you, it's deeply subconscious. Some of you might be something that you think about. But regardless, if there's any kind of like low grade anxiety or random stomach issues that you have, which has a lot to do with not digesting emotional experiences, this is a physical manifestation of this energy. So even if it's not something you consider on your mind, it's something that is there in your soul and your body. And I feel like you're not only shedding that, but you're coming into this higher vibrational energy of starting to bring awareness to all of the good things that are going on in your life, all of the things that are going right, all the things to be grateful for. And this might even be part of your advice here around what pattern is ending, is that you're coming into, or you're needing to practice more gratitude and come into a state of looking at the glass half full. So again, daily gratitude practice. I've actually been doing something after talking with a friend of mine who was talking about, having people in your life that are expanders. I started to talk to myself before bed, or write it down, either way. What are 3 things that expanded me today? And this is kind of going beyond just gratitude, although it really has a very strong overlap with that. And just looking at things that I feel like are making me grow as a person, that are bringing me joy, that are just feeling like they are expanders, if you can think about what that word means. So I would encourage you to do something like that, for example, and refocus where the brain is giving all of its energy, because I feel like you have, again, been wasting a lot of energy on kind of fighting your inner fears of those monsters in their cloaks. And it's time to kind of take the cloak off, realize it was just shadow and light, nothing is there, and be able to then capture that energy to direct it towards the good things in your life, to continue to manifest a lot more. And that's something I'm seeing very strongly with this Capricorn card, with this dedication to achieve, focusing on, resulting from the rules imposed by. So focusing on and your dedication to achieve. It's like all of this energy that you have now kind of freed up as a result of no longer having this as like a fear in your subconscious mind. All of that energy is now going into your goals. So there may be something that you've always wanted in your career. Maybe you wanted to buy a house, maybe you have a relationship goal, but something that feels like it is a higher mission or progressing your life forward in a really beautiful and significant way. I'm seeing you guys come into that more and have a lot more success because of your ability to free up some of this attention and focus and energy. And you might, again, not even realize how much energy is going out to this thing. So this is going to help you also really overcome any of the hurdles in your way. Capricorn is ruled by the goat, the sea goat in particular, which is very intuitive, very in touch with its mission and its purpose, but it's also very driven, and it doesn't give up on any of the obstacles that come its way. It just puts its head down, keeps working and focusing also on where it's headed. It doesn't lose sight of its bigger mission. And so if you guys are trying to achieve something great, I feel like you are going to, again, free up so much energy that you'll now have all the resources and the emotional tools to confront any hurdles along the way that will allow you to achieve that great thing. I think you're also going to be coming more into your own confidence and your own essence. So there's less of this like reactive, fearful kind of gazelle energy where, maybe you're not sure, you're trying to keep yourself small and you're running from the problem, or you're running from, or trying to avoid, whatever pain could happen. You're moving past that. You're going into a growth mindset with the Sagittarius and this gratitude card. The Sagittarius is so focused on personal development, of achieving more, of pushing itself outside of its comfort zone, its boundaries, to go on an adventure, to learn more about itself, and to see what it's capable of, to see its potential. And I really feel like you guys are coming into your highest potential. You might even be traveling, you might even study something new, but it's really not about what you're doing as much as it is about how you feel while you're doing it. You're no longer in this, again, fearful energy of trying to blend in with the crowd. You're willing to stand out. You're willing to take risks. You are willing to do things that you feel like will enhance your life in really big ways, add to your wisdom, add to your experience. And you're not fearing that something bad is going to happen if you take that kind of chance on yourself. And so I feel like you guys are just so much more optimistic. Sagittarius tends to be very bright in terms of their outlook on life. And with this gratitude card, I really feel like you're stepping into more of the idealistic version of yourself. You're reaching for more, you're excited about more, and you are going to achieve more because of the nature of this energy. So let's look at these last two cards for you. We have Journey and Offering. Okay, so this Journey card is interesting because I feel like this is really talking about how to get you here has honestly been kind of a long road. I think it has been a journey, and I think it's going to continue to be a journey. I don't necessarily feel like something of this traumatic nature or something with this much of a root just goes away overnight. It might take the whole year or the whole eclipse cycle, 6 months, to really uproot and change the way that you approach this particular issue in your life. It doesn't feel like an overnight success. It feels like something that you truly have to dedicate yourself to. So you're ending this pattern, but it comes from consistently showing up for yourself and trying to think differently, practice gratitude, focus on your goals, expand your energy outward, take risks, feel like more is possible, and then tackle those inner demons that comes from the fear. It feels, again, like a process and not something that's like a destination necessarily. Let me also read what these cards say. So this card says, state of transition, leaving behind what is familiar, moving towards the unknown, connection to a higher mind, trusting higher consciousness. The reverse is choosing comfort, a lack of trust in the unknown, resistance to change, and a lack of spontaneity. So I definitely see that for you guys. You're going on more of an adventure with this Sagittarius card. So again, it doesn't feel like this energy feels very dark and like stuck. And the fourth house is very much us living inside of our comfort zone and playing it small, like the Gazelle card. So I really feel like you're journeying out there into the Sagittarius energy, this ninth house energy, where you're going and traveling the world, or you're trying new experiences. You're trying things that, again, push you outside of that comfort zone. And you have to leave behind the comfort. You have to leave behind the familiar, the family, the home, the things that have been kind of like a little baby blanket for you almost. And it's like, that is really scary for kids to no longer have their baby blanket, to kind of have to be thrust into the world of the adults. But I feel like you guys are excited about it. I feel like you guys are accepting what it feels like to be on a journey and be in a transition. And it feels very much like an emotional transition as well. And I'm feeling like you guys are just not resisting it. You are trusting a lot more in the process. And again, I think it's a step-by-step thing. Like, I don't know if you're gonna just trust the universe entirely overnight. I think this is the thing that's being cured, is the lack of trust, the fear of betrayal, the fear of things going wrong and you being hurt. I really feel like that is what's kind of unraveling here, or not going to be as bad. And in order for that to happen, you're transitioning from that lack of trust in life and earth to trusting yourself and trusting the universe and God. And that is something that, again, very much is a Sagittarius ideal and experience, and that comes slowly over time. Like, if you know anything about trust, for example, if you break trust in a relationship, you build trust every single day. You build trust with yourself every day. You build trust with the universe every day. You take one step and you look around, you're like, okay, I took my step out of the house now. Like, let me go down the street. Let me go to the supermarket. Let me go to my friend's house. Let me go all the way to another state, to another country. And you see how you kind of take it step by step and build up that trust more and more. I know that's like a physical analogy, but there's something emotional about that. So I hope that you kind of apply that to what makes sense for you. This Offering card is interesting. I kind of had this like message for people who are business owners. There might be something that you decide to offer that changes as a result of this experience. So yeah, just know that you might be radically transformed by this, and you might put yourself out there in a way that you have been fearful of doing. You might offer something to the world or to a relationship or in your business as a product that feels like, woo, like I'm excited, but I'm like nervous about taking that kind of risk. But I feel like you guys are willing to put yourself out there because of that trust that you're building with yourself and with the universe. So it feels like a very healing energy, essentially, to reach out, to extend your hand out, and then to be received by someone else or by the world or by something. Like, I feel like the universe, because of the focus on gratitude and you healing this and taking a chance on yourself finally and ending the cycle permanently, because of that, when you offer your hand out or you try this thing and you put yourself out there, I really feel like it's going to be received well, because the universe wants to affirm that you are on the right path, to affirm the work that you're doing. This card also says power, offering, divine gift, invocation, respect, deep alignment with will and purpose. When it's reversed, it's illusion of power, power hungry, lack of respect, inner conflict, addiction, stuck in habits, fear of failure. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there is a fear of failure that was driving you, a fear of betrayal, fear of hurt, a fear of yourself not being good enough in some way. And I really feel like this offering is you breaking out of that, is you seeing that that's not true. And I feel like there could have been also this desire for having some kind of like power or control over your life or situations. And I think you're coming into a much more realistic awareness that there are things in life that you can't control. There are things that are going to happen with this Capricorn card that you're going to be able to overcome because you're resourceful and you're strong and you're made for that. But there are going to be things that are hard. And, you know, I think this energy here is trying to emotionally control the outcome, is trying to prevent bad things from happening or stay indoors so that you don't get struck by lightning. Like, that's just not logical. And I think it's a false sense of power that you were having before that you're actually realizing you don't have. And that might be scary at some points, which is why this is a journey. That might kind of bring up some existential stuff and some wounding, but ultimately it will help you just release the worry, because once you realize you don't have control, you don't have responsibility for it. You can't prevent it. You can't, again, control it, manipulate it. And all you have to do is just build yourself up in the best possible way to be able to ride the waves of life. If things happen, then they happen. You can use your discernment. You can use your wisdom. You can use the tools within yourself to best navigate it. But if something is going to happen, if it's fated, then you can't control that. And I think you're coming into a realization and a respect for life and like the divine unfoldment of life, and really surrendering and trusting the process, trusting yourself and your ability to go through that and still come out alive, still come out stronger than ever. And just very much, again, trusting the divine. This is also about deep alignment with will and purpose. So again, I feel like there could be something here around if you have a business or if you're interested in doing something different in your career. This offering card feels like you're coming more into your purpose because you are getting out of this kind of small energy or this fearful energy. It allows you to take a risk on yourself, which means that you can understand what it is that you actually want to do without automatically limiting yourself by saying, oh, I can't do that, or I'm not good enough, or whatever it is that you may have subconsciously just had come up that made you not take a chance on yourself. I feel like you're coming out of that and into more of this essence of, you know, who am I? What do I have to offer? What do I want? Let me just fucking go for it. I trust in myself. I trust in the universe. I'm no longer holding on to this fear. I'm no longer keeping myself small. I'm grateful for what I have. I'm expanding into more. I'm focusing my energy on things that matter to me, on things that are purposeful and mission oriented. And I know this is a journey and I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna be just fine. So that's what I'm seeing for you, pile 3. If you resonate with this, I'd love to hear your comments down below. Don't forget to also like and subscribe and share with your friends. And if you want astrology reading from me, you can always check that out in the description or willisboom.com. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.